Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because, well, we're doing something incredibly focused and, honestly, deeply transformative. Today's entire explainer is dedicated to A Course in Miracles, specifically Lesson 26. We are going to completely unpack this text, strip away all the confusing jargon, and really look at what this means for your actual everyday life. If you're ready to totally reshape how you process worry and fear, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just dive right into the deep end. The core lesson mantra, the absolute central thesis we're going to dissect today is this. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Just let that sink in for a second.
This concept brilliantly highlights the massive paradigm shift Lesson 26 is asking us to make. You know, we usually walk around with this deeply ingrained false belief that external situations, like say a looming deadline, a really difficult conversation, or an uncertain financial situation, we think those things make us vulnerable. We view attack as this real physical or external threat. But the reality completely flips this on its head. It reveals that because we believe we can project attack outward, we consequently fear an attack coming inward. Your own thoughts are the true and literally the only source of your vulnerability. The two ideas contradict each other entirely. You just cannot hold on to attack thoughts and feel invulnerable at the exact same time.
Now you're probably thinking, okay, but what exactly is an attack thought? That sounds pretty aggressive. Let's demystify that using the text's own definition. An attack thought isn't necessarily you plotting some elaborate revenge against an enemy. In everyday language, an attack thought is simply that constant, unsettling overthinking. It takes the form of depression, worry, anger, a sense of imposition, fear, foreboding, or just intense preoccupation. When you're lying awake at 3 a.m. anticipating the absolute worst-case scenario about some unresolved situation, yep, that right there is an attack thought.
So, what's the fallout of all this? What actually happens when we let these thoughts just run wild? Well, the text gives us this incredibly striking consequence. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. When we project these negative, fearful thoughts, their ultimate effect is to weaken us in our own eyes. They are literally attacking your perception of yourself. Because you believe in these thoughts of worry and impending disaster, you lose belief in your own capability. You effectively strip away your natural confidence, and you replace your true and vulnerable self with this really fragile false image.
But here is the absolute game changer. What's so profoundly interesting about this concept is the massive sense of hope it offers. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Now, I know it might sting a bit at first to realize, wow, I'm doing this to myself. But think about the incredibly empowering flip side of that. If nothing except your thoughts makes you think you're vulnerable, then absolutely nothing except your thoughts can prove to you that it isn't true. Because your thoughts created the vulnerability in the first place, only your thoughts hold the power to completely undo it. You are entirely in the driver's seat here.
Section 2. The daily practice and rewiring your perception. Let's get into the actionable steps.
First up, the frequency. How often are we doing this? The text specifically requires exactly 6 practice periods throughout the day to properly apply this idea. Not 1, not 3, but 6. We're talking about building a brand new mental habit here, and repetition is absolutely key to breaking down that false image we just talked about.
Next, let's get clear on the time commitment. For each of those 6 sessions, you should attempt a full 2 minutes. However, the text totally acknowledges that looking directly at our deepest worries is, frankly, really uncomfortable. So it explicitly states that you can reduce the session to 1 minute if the discomfort just gets to be too much. But, and this is a really strict rule, do not reduce it any further than that single minute. You've got to sit with it just long enough to actually do the work.
So how exactly do we begin? It's literally 3 simple steps. Step 1, you sit down and simply repeat today's idea to yourself. Step 2, close your eyes. Just shut out all those external distractions. Step 3, review unresolved situations whose outcomes are causing you concern. You're just scanning your brain for any unsettled problem that tends to keep popping up in your mind throughout the day. Just pick one of those to focus on.
Once you've got that specific, recurring problem locked in your mind, the text guides you to explicitly name it. You're going to fill in the blank using this exact script. I am concerned about, and then just state the situation. You can say it out loud or just really clearly in your head. The point is, you are dragging that vague, shadowy anxiety right out into the light and defining exactly what it is you're dealing with.
Next, we have to go deep. For that single situation you just named, You need to identify every possible outcome that has occurred to you and caused you concern. If you're doing this exercise properly, the text says you should have about 5 or 6 distressing possibilities, honestly, quite possibly more. You are digging up every single specific, negative outcome that you are secretly anticipating. Don't just gloss over them, bring every single one of them right to the surface.
And as you pull up each of those distressing possibilities, you're going to refer to each one specifically using this exact phrase, "I am afraid blank will happen." The text actually gives a really great piece of advice here. As you go down your list of anticipated outcomes, you're probably going to find some of the later ones really hard to accept or admit to yourself. Try your best to treat them all alike. Treat every deeply uncomfortable outcome completely equally as you plug it into this phrase.
And then comes the absolutely crucial step, the turning point. After you have named each scary outcome, you look right at it and tell yourself, that thought is an attack upon myself. Boom. This is the exact moment you take your power back. You are recognizing, in real time, that the worry itself, the literal thought taking place inside your own mind, is the actual attack on your well-being. It's not the future external event that hasn't even happened yet. It's the thought.
So just to tie a bow on this whole practice, let's summarize the rules of the road so you have a really clean mental checklist. To wrap up your session, you just repeat the main idea once more. You're going to do this 6 times a day. You'll spend 1 to 2 minutes per session. And critically, remember that it is much more helpful to cover just a few situations thoroughly, going really deep into the specific fears, rather than just superficially skimming over a massive list of problems. Depth over breadth is the ultimate goal here. Which brings us right back to where we started. Full circle to our central thesis. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. I really want to reiterate this main lesson statement so it truly, deeply sticks in your memory today. Remember, your vulnerability and your invulnerability are entirely the result of your own thoughts, nothing else. I really want to leave you with this final, provocative question to ponder as you go about the rest of your day. If it is an absolute, undeniable law that only your thoughts can attack you, what happens to your life, your confidence, and your entire reality when you change your thoughts? You hold an immense amount of power, and this lesson is a major key to unlocking it. Listen, if you found this explainer valuable and it helped clarify this lesson for you, please hit that like button and definitely subscribe to the channel so we can keep diving into these transformative concepts together. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I will see you in the next explainer.